Hey, Inspire Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers. It's Jean Nolan here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being here with us. We're going to wait for the live stream to be distributed. We are live on YouTube, we're live on Rumble. And while people are jumping on and joining us, which is exciting when you all are joining us, and while it's being distributed, let me remind all of us of this beautiful mantra, of our live stream mantra that we've had. Let me scoot back a little bit, that we've had for so many months now, actually years, since 2020, since we started doing this. And the mantra is: we're healthy, we're wealthy, we're whole, we're free. Healthy, wealthy, whole, and free. Which is highly important to us, that we maintain this healthy, wealthy, whole, and free. We maintain this in our hearts. We carry this message. And actually, today's live stream, as you're joining us, I would encourage you to actually hop over. We put the link for the Rumble link in the YouTube video description and the live chat. It's pinned up there, just to be sure that you have an uncensored, uninterrupted experience. Kristin is behind the scenes in the live chat, on the thumbs, commenting and seeing your beautiful comments in the live chat. My wonderful wife, Kristin, who's always with us, even if she's not on camera very often. So today I'd like to share something with you that I've been thinking about for a very, very long time. And I believe it's one of the great missing pieces for a golden future. And it's one of the most important things these control groups, these pretend control groups, don't want us to know. And in order to look into this golden future, we first have to look back into our past. And I've said this many times. One of the misconceptions about our past is that we have evolved from an ape-like species, and then we were in the Stone Age, and then we slowly made our way up to what we are now. And the greatest misconception is that we are at the height of our beingness, of our capabilities, that this is the pinnacle, and it couldn't be further from the truth. I think we have actually devolved. We have actually, for a long time, gone back in terms of what our true capabilities are, through manipulation, through forgetfulness, through ignorance, through wars, through famine, through disasters, and all of that. But actually, if we look back at the civilizations that we've had, and let me just welcome you all once again, the people that I see Maggie here, and I see David and Joshua and Kiki and Nalita, Balanced Cheese, Matthew. Thank you so much for being here. Just wanted to say that. Thank you, and welcome, everyone. So when we look back to our civilizations, and those who, most importantly, the ones we should look to, we are always only taught really about the warring people, the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, Alexander the Great. We're taught about these empires that were always warring people, that were always people that were in constant conflict with someone else. But we're never actually taught about greater civilizations, one of them being Atlantis, right? Atlantis, this is absolutely not a myth, and there's so much evidence that points to Atlantis, but Atlantis can serve as two examples, right? Two of the great civilizations of the past are Lemuria and Atlantis. And Atlantis can serve as a very, very good example of how something that was actually profoundly beautiful turned into one of the greatest destructions. And this will lead us into the present moment. I promise you, please bear with me here. I want to peel the onion and paint a bigger picture. So if you look at Atlantis, and if you hear the stories, not just through people that channeled it, but there's cultures on Earth today where this knowledge about the civilization had been passed down from generation to generation. So we have a lot of oral tradition that teaches us. And Atlantis was, for a long time, a very beautiful, very harmonious place. But one thing that happened where it fell out of balance is that they appeared to have worshipped one part of their beingness more than all the other parts, and that is their minds, right? So they have absolutely focused on the power of the human mind, and the human mind is extremely powerful. We are just beginning to rediscover what we're really capable of. I mean, we're literally just dipping our toe into the sea of possibilities here in terms of what we can do, how we can telepathically communicate, how we can move objects with our mind only, with our intention, how our mind is intrinsically connected to so many things around us or everything around us. But the mind in and of itself is one component of this. And in Atlantis, the mind, the power of the mind had created such powerful technology that eventually that technology led to the catastrophe that literally sunk this great civilization. And so today, where we're at a very similar point today where we have begun worshiping the mind and what the mind can create in terms of inventions, technology. We're in the midst of the beginning stages of the technocratic age, where technology literally rules our lives. And a lot of people view this as something positive. A lot of people say, well, this is wonderful. It takes so much off our plates, and technologies is a great and wonderful basically thing. I mean, it's actually a ruler, which is the greater problem. But I beg to differ. I think that technology speaks exactly to the evidence that Atlantis went down. It actually brings us full circle on the path of full-on destruction. And here's why. There's a reason behind this. People speak of multiple guide systems in the human experience, right? In man's experience, they speak of, a lot of people say, trust your gut, right? Trust the gut feeling. But let's examine these guide systems and let's see which one we're missing out. And that's the one they don't want you to realize you have. So the one is the gut system. But what is the gut system? The gut system is really a reflection of our lower instincts that are lust, that are hunger, that are survival, right? So all these instincts, they are represented in the gut. And so when you have a gut feeling, really you're just listening to those lower level instincts. And we have now evolved and have been evolved. That's also important. There was a genetic manipulation some 200,000 years ago, and we have now gone or received the gift of consciousness, which also means that we are tasked with the challenge to actually control, discipline, and be the master of our lower instincts, be the master of lust, be the master of fear and worry, which all manifests in the gut. So the gut in and of itself isn't and shouldn't be your guidance system for everyday decisions, because it's simply coming from a lower level of your beingness. So then when you move up a little, you move into the heart. And a lot of people say, listen to your heart. And it sounds like wonderful advice. But the heart is the center of our emotions, right? We feel our feelings in our heart. So when we are in a positive state, then listening to our heart might be a lot better than when we are in a sad or depressed state, because our heart is sad and depressed. And it then gives us a false guidance. And it's a constant roller coaster ride. The heart is a roller coaster ride. I'm not saying ignore the heart, but I'm saying it is not quite the best guidance system yet. Then let's move up. Let's move into the mind. Or maybe you think the mind sits here. Some people say the mind sits here. Where it sits doesn't really matter. But the mind is this amazing computer, if you will, that allows you to make very complex observations, calculations, and decisions. So you take in all the information that's out there, and you calculate the best possible decision. And the broader and more open your mind is, the greater your ability to manifest, the greater your ability to calculate, the greater your ability to create the future, if you want. All of that is very important. The mind, the heart, the gut, all of it is very important. But should it in and of itself be our guidance system? If we look at our past experiences, I would say no, there's a crucial part missing, and that part is the one that will actually create a golden future if we choose to listen to that guidance. And that guidance comes from our higher spirit. We have been given the gift of a higher spirit. And what that higher spirit is in how we tune into our higher spirit requires the mind, the heart. It does require these components, But that's how we tune into it. That's how we receive the connection with our higher spirit. And that's where true guidance comes from. That's what has created a long, long time ago, very harmonious, beautiful societies and cultures that have been truly spirited. That's really how they lived. The spirit guided them. And the spirit has the broadest view. It is coming from the field, it's coming from direct connection with source energy, God, the creator. And so when we walk with the spirit as our guideline, as our guide system, I think we walk in harmony, we walk in peace, and we walk in prosperity and abundance. I believe this is the key that we are being detached from, right? And so now, as we are walking into this ever increasing technocratic path, which solely focuses on the mind, just check in all of technology. What's your spiritual connection to technology? Truly, all of this technology that we see is simply there to insert itself into uh, our minds and to alter and manipulate our thought process. And a lot of people will say, well, great. If I get a chip into my brain, if I'm hooked up to AI, I will be able to do so many more things. Yes, I agree. You probably will be able to artificially turn on and wire certain things in your brain, but it will detach you more and more and more from the spirit. And then the spirit, the higher spirit, the soul, when that is lost, we are lost. We are not who we were anymore. We are not who we were meant to be anymore. And we are ultimately lost as a species. As a species, we die. We are exterminated if we lose and give up our spirit, which is the greatest guidance of all. I'm going as far as saying that when we fully tune into our spirit 100% and become fully connected again, we will not have the need, the want, or feel any kind of attachment to technology anymore. This is ironic. I know this. I'm speaking to you using technology, and I currently appreciate it because in our still limited capabilities, it allows us to communicate in this way. And for that, I'm grateful. But to me, this is a stepping stone. And every day I ready myself more and more and more to be in tune with higher spirit more and more through meditation, through nature, through love, through intention, through discipline. Because I truly believe that if this tuning in happens on the greatest scale individually and also collectively, technology will fall away from our lives and we won't miss it the way we would miss it now, because our true capabilities will replace everything and so much more of what we're using now. We simply won't need it, and we will be more than comfortable. We will be thriving in ways we can't even imagine, and we won't need it. This is my true inner belief, and I know this sounds very woo-woo, and it sounds crazy to a lot of people, but that's what I truly believe, and I feel it in my spirit to be the truth. That's where it guides me. And I believe we need to be so brave as to overcome the addiction to our mind solely. Our mind makes us addicted to this problem reaction solution process that doesn't really allow for a lot of creativity. It's the higher spirit that infuses our being with true creativity. And this is what I believe we need to tune into. It's the pinnacle of our evolution in terms of self-actualization as mankind. And that's the 1% part, not 1% of the people, but that's what changes everything when you get to that pinnacle. And it is a inner process that requires discipline, that requires intention, that requires a showing up of you every day, and overcoming of the lower planes of existence. And when your mind and your heart and your higher spirit are connected, my goodness, everything and anything becomes possible. I see it. I've lived glimpses of it. I've lived periods of time feeling so pure that I knew I would point at something and it would literally magically present all of it itself to me, or something would become possible that was impossible a few days ago. I have these occurrences over and over again, and I know what it feels like. And this is our golden future. It truly belongs to you and us, but it belongs to our higher spirits. And then we will overcome all of our materialistic addictions, because it will be so much better. than the artificial stuff that we know now. That's what I really, really believe. And I often, um, the context of many situations often doesn't allow me to express it this way, or it would be too far of a stretch. So I wanted to come on because it's what Christine and I have been talking about. It's what higher spirit guides us to. And I want to encourage you, show up for your daily meditations, show up for your conversation with spirit, show up for this more than you show up for your favorite Netflix show, more than you show up for your coffee date at the coffee shop. All of these things. I'm not saying you shouldn't do any of these things, but what I'm saying is priorities, priorities, priorities. This is the time of discernment. We're in an age of discernment. We need to detach from what doesn't serve us and truly move into what is the greatest servant of them all, higher spirit. Also, I wanted to point to this because our work, the work that we do, Christina and I do, is really always pointed towards that. That's what inspired truly means to us, in the spirit. I mean, here, the secret is in plain sight. It is no secret. In spirit, inspired, that's what it means. That's where it came from. That's the mission statement. And one of the things, and this is, I want to make a kind of a full stop here. This is a message in and of itself. And if you feel like you've received this message today with, I'm grateful and I appreciate it, and have a wonderful rest of your day. After this full stop, I also want to express or extend an invitation to you if this speaks to you. Getting in the spirit has proven to be quite challenging for a lot of us because of the programming that we've received, because of the all the distraction, stimulation, chemical intrusion, pollution that we're all exposed to every day, from what's coming from the sky, from what's coming from the air, from what's coming from the rain, from what's coming from the air waves, from the TV, from all those things. So much manipulation is coming in. And of course, the traumas that we have experienced in our lives, small or big. So there's a lot that hinders us from connecting to higher spirit and truly experiencing who we really are. And so we want to extend an invitation. Christine and I, a couple times a year, gather with a group of people on a beautiful beach down in Florida, Cape San Blas. It's a sacred place for us, really. And we gather there to dive into the depths of who we really are, and to explore what it is that we truly desire in our lives, and to feel this deep meditations, breath work. It's challenging. I'm not gonna pretend it's not challenging. We go through some very challenging things, but we go deeper and deeper into the realm of peace and ultimate creativity and source. That's really what we do there. And we've had a wonderful experience just a few months ago, and we're coming together one more time this year from September 29th to October 2nd. There's still a few slots left because we keep it a very very small group. We want it to be an intimate, personal experience. And over 3.5 days, we dive deep. We're going to go over some limitations that might have been holding you back, and explore what's on the other side of those limitations. This is what it's really about. So you have to really feel, this is what I want. I really want to explore who I am and what my true purpose is, why I'm here. I want to begin living that. If this speaks to you, then please consider joining us. And the easiest way to find out more about it is to send us an email and just put Yado. And that's the name of this retreat. See here, Yado. You are the one. That's the name of the retreat. Put Yado in the subject line of your email and send us an email to info@inspiredchannel.net. Info@inspiredchannel.net. Just put Yado in the subject line. We'll send you all information. If this speaks to you, if you say, I want to be a part of this, I feel like something's been holding me back, I feel like I'm close, but not quite there, please come and join us. We'd love to have you. And be ready. You gotta really desire, want, change, to change, not just change, but to change, to create that shift in your life. We're not the ones who will create the shift for you. Well, together we'll create amazing shift energy that will allow you to create the changes in your life that you want to have. So again, if that speaks to you, send us an email with Yado, Y-A-T-O, in the subject line to info@inspiredchannel.net. We'd love to have you. That all being said, I always want to emphasize something and make something abundantly clear. we love giving these opportunities. We love sharing what we have learned, what we have taught. And Christine, in her work over many years, one-on-one, hundreds and thousands of lives that she's changed. We love sharing this knowledge. We love doing this, but by no means are we ever saying it can only happen this way. There is an abundance of possibilities for you to create that shift in your life. And it doesn't have to be through a retreat. It doesn't have to be through that. But if that speaks to you, would love to invite you. This is important for us because your path is unique and you will be guided on the right path and you will know what the right thing for you is. And there's a million ways. So don't let anyone ever tell you, if you don't jump on this opportunity, it's not going to happen for you. I absolutely do not believe that. That all being said, tribe, please pull out a piece of paper, your notebook, a pen, and write down connecting with higher spirit, connecting with my higher spirit. Make it a priority every day. See what does the trick for you. Being in nature, sitting under a tree, maybe observing the birds or the other animals, maybe meditating by yourself or with others, maybe praying with others. Whatever does that for you, you will feel higher spirit when it comes to you. When you give it enough room that it can express itself, you will feel a kind of peace and love and universal connection that supersedes anything you might have felt before. It is much stronger than just love in your heart. It is love in everything. It is unconditional. It is the true motor of the golden future. I can't even tell you. There are no words to describe what it feels like to have higher spirit in you and let that guide you. And then when you bring this and that you establish this connection, you have higher spirit as your guidance, it will guide you in the right path. And if you bring this light then to any darkness, oh, you will light up the room. You will light up any situation. You will be a true light bringer to the world. It's absolutely astonishing what happens. But it only happens when we actually reconnect with higher spirit. Don't let religious dogma get in the way, and don't let others tell you how it has to happen. There are many paths to that. For us, it truly is going within, breathing deeply, meditating and connecting, setting that intention every day. And my greatest intention every day is I give thanks to the higher spirit, to the creator actually, to guide me through the day and to speak through me. This is really my greatest intention. I fail sometimes, like all of us do, right? And sometimes say, oh, this really wasn't the highest, my higher spirit talking through me. And I accept that. I don't beat myself up about it. I just try to better myself tomorrow and be better than I was today. That's all. No comparison with anyone else. Please also take this to heart. Don't compare yourself with others. Your journey is unique. You are unique. If you strive to be better than you were last year, I think that's a positive thing. If you strive to be better than your neighbor, I think you're always going to find yourself kind of feeling short of achieving that, because we're not meant to compare ourselves to each other. We're complementing each other. We're cooperating with each other. And that's, I think, a beautiful thing. Tribe, we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving us a little bit of your time today. There's deep love and appreciation here. And we'll be with you again very, very soon.